Hi everyone, Chris Anderson, Mount Comfort RV. One of my favorite days of the year is the day we get our first new Dutch Star for the model year. Read 'em and weep. It's a 2022 Dutch Star. This is a 4081 floor plan. So we're gonna go over it real quickly. Now, sadly, I can't sell you this coach. I can sell you one just like this coach, but I can't sell you this one because it sold before it got here, which is kind of how things are going right now. Inventory is so low at dealerships and production is still slow because of component shortages. A lot of times if you're wanting one of these, we're gonna have to get in contact and get you one that's on its way in. If it's far enough out, we may even be able to have it customized for you. But first of all, of course, people want to see what the heck they're buying. So let's go over the 2022 Dutch Star. Subtle changes this year. I don't know that there's any earth-shattering changes this year, but some nice subtleties. So let's, without further ado, let's get started. We'll start up front. Of course, we still have a digital dash like we did last year. This particular Dutch Star is on a Spartan chassis. So we're going to light up the dash so you can get a good look at that. There we go, Spartan coming online there. See all your gauges, and you know, it's just so nice with the digital display screens. Everything's so bright and easy to read and can be placed wherever the programmer wants to put it in, instead of, you know, sometimes the steering wheel would block a gauge or something just because of room for the analog gauges. Well, with a fully digital dash, it can kind of program it to go wherever you want, so it makes it very nice. We've gone to the bigger monitors, the 9-inch monitors. The nice part about that is your navigation screen is bigger. This year they did go away from the Rand McNally. Rand McNally is getting out of it, and this is called a Nav and Go system. And the Nav and Go system is just like the Rand McNally in that you can program all your sizes into it and everything, so you can tell it, you know, we're 12 feet 11 inches tall, we're 8 feet wide, we're 40 feet long. So it won't take you down any roads that you can't go on. But the thing that's better about the Nav and Go is it actually updates through like a 4G network. So you have lifetime maps with it, and you don't have to go download a program to your computer, put it on a thumb drive, come out here, put the thumb drive in the thing, figure out how to do a firmware update. It was kind of cumbersome to do the changes before. This does it all automatically. So that's one nice feature. So for the second year in a row, we are Villa furniture for most of it. The sofa's Villa, the driver passenger seats are Villa. The new optional recliners, which are featured here, these are from a company called REM. They're very comfortable, or REM, I don't know, REM. I thought like the band when I first saw it. It was 3 capital R-E and M, so sounds like the band to me. Didn't know they retired and started making furniture, but apparently that's what's happened here. Up front, we'll go through some of the storage cabinets. Well, not storage. First of all, we're going to get into the brains of the operation. Again, if you've watched our videos in the past, you know that we can get very deep in the weeds on this stuff. I don't want to do that today. I want to kind of keep things moving. We're just going to go over what each one of them does quickly. Up top is your Wi-Fi range extender. That's basically your router for the coach. Here we have not only our inverter control, but also our auto generator control. So auto generator means the generator can be set to come on at a certain time, a certain temperature, a certain voltage of the batteries to keep everything working well. We have our Wine Guard. This is our digital antenna that will help you dial in your stations for your over-the-air television. Here we have our Oasis system. Now our Oasis system is like our boiler room. Think of it like a boiler room in a apartment building, except it works a lot better. This is where our hot water and our heat come from for the coach, and that can run off of either diesel fuel or electric, depending on what you have available to you. Next, we have a series of switches here. Just they're labeled, but we have security lights for both sides of the coach. We have a block heater. If it's cold outside and you're leaving the next morning, turn on your block heater. It'll be a lot easier on your engine. Satellite system is turned off and on here. Our exterior step and our exterior LED lights below the slide are all controlled right here. This next one are our slide outs for the front of the coach. This one will be your full wall slide, and then this is your kitchen and sofa slide here. Step over here, this is our Girard awning. The whole side of this coach is awnings on the door side of the coach, and this runs those in and out and turns on your LEDs. Of course, you do have motion detection in there, so if the wind picks up, you can certainly count on that to bring those in. I never bet my life on that. You know, it's one of those things where a sudden gust of wind can still get you. So I always tell people, look, if it's a little windy out and you think you might should consider bringing your awnings in, you should probably bring your awnings in. Let's protect those. This is your little over-the-door awning right here, and that's the on-off switch for that. This is our energy management system to keep us under our amp load. So if you're on a 50 amp plug, this will keep you under 50 amps so you don't blow the circuit breaker at the post. And lastly in here, come on, come to life, we have our touch screen that's going to give us all of our tank gauges in percentages here. Tells us our battery level, turn our water pump off and on. We can turn on the autofill feature as well. And then it controls our HVAC, so our heating and cooling is controlled through this little screen also. So that's a little bit about what's in this front control panel. Over here we're going to have some storage. All right, now all of our blinds you see here, you have on just about every window in here, you have a day and a night shade. So we have the day shades down now, and you can still see out through that, but yet that's definitely cutting the heat and the amount of light coming into this coach. At night, when you light it up in here and it's dark outside, people would be able to see in. So then you want to bring down the blackout shade, which would be just like our front screen up here. Those are all power. It comes with 2 remotes, one for the bedroom and one for the living room. So these little guys here are what control all your shades. Speaking of, we'll look at some storage while we're in here. All right. So storage on either side, and then in the middle, this is going to be our electronics area. So with the satellite dish that's on this coach, you probably want to put a satellite receiver in there. Maybe you want a Blu-ray player or something like that. That's the cabinet that's all pre-wired for that stuff to go in right there. And then it does have, it's a glass door, it's a frosted glass or a tinted glass door, so that your remote control works right through there if need be. Up top, we do have the Bose sound bar. All right. Shut these cabinets. Now one other feature we can do here is hit this little guy right here, and lo and behold, in all its glory, we have a Samsung television coming up from behind the sofa there. This is called our televator. You know, during the night, you got your blinds down, you bring that up. It's a very nice spot to watch TV, especially the way we have this coach optioned, which is with the 2 recliners. So you really can't get a much more direct line of sight for TV watching. That's one of my hot buttons. Is for years, you know, they built coaches and you'd sit on a sofa over here and you'd watch TV up here. Well, that TV's fine if you have guests over and somebody's sitting on the sofa or something, but really, most of the time, the people that buy this, it's just 2 people, and if they're sitting here enjoying their favorite icy cold beverage and watching a show or a movie, this is a pretty good viewing angle right here, and this is a very comfortable recliner, so that's great. Now this sofa does fold out into a bed, so really this coach is going to sleep 4 people, is what it's going to be rated to sleep. Now you could always blow up an air mattress on the floor. There's certainly plenty of floor here. Speaking of floor, this is a polished porcelain tile floor. Just gorgeous, easy to clean up, hard to damage, so that's all good. And then with the Newmar product, of course, we have the more floor design where we actually don't have any carpet on this. So that's very rare in a motorhome. Usually that slide will have carpet on it, but there's no carpet in this coach. All right, we'll cover some of the other storage here. Up top, we have one cabinet that's actually like 4 compartments deep. Sorry, I have to cut in front of the camera there for a second. But this is all one compartment in here, so if you have longer items, you can kind of angle them in there. This is carpeted. You have it's a lined cabinet. Notice the doors all stand up on their own. They have the little metal struts here, so you don't have to be the one-armed loader trying to hold the door open with one hand and load with the other. This carpet actually helps keep things from rattling around in here as well. It helps keep them from sliding and making noise when you're going down the road, which is a personal pet peeve of mine. All right, and then this, look at that, we have cup holders here, and then we'll go down one, nice deep drawer. Okay, and those are the soft close drawers that go in. You just get them close and they go in. Corian countertops throughout this coach. Everywhere that looks like it might be Corian, it is. That is cut and polished and everything in-house at Newmar, and can't beat that. A lot of times on coaches they'll put Corian here, but then they'll use a cheaper countertop material elsewhere in the coach. That's not the case here. Every bit of wood that you see in this coach is 100% solid hardwoods. It's not a wrapped wood. On most motorhomes, and I'm talking 85, 90%, you'll have solid doors, but then the cabinet styles and the fascias will be a wrapped wood of some sort. That is not the case here. This is 100% solid wood when you get to this level of coach. All right, we'll come back a little farther here. More overhead storage here. And again, this is all one compartment. And then I'm going to pull the chair out. Those chairs are heavy. You can tell it's well-made furniture. We've got some storage down here. That's adjustable shelves there. Okay, and even under the center. So a lot of storage in this coach. You can kind of get a shot down there if you would. And even under the center. There we go. Now this table does pull out, and there's a leaf or two that goes in there. So you can make the table bigger. And there's 2 more chairs under the bed that are folding chairs. So when you do have guests over, you break those out. They actually match these chairs very nicely, and everybody's comfortable, and the coach still looks great. We'll come back to the kitchen side here. This is where everybody really wants to see the storage, I know. So let's open them up. Got a little spice rack up there. I love that. All right, so there's our upper storage. You can see in each of those cabinets you actually have a shelf in there which effectively doubles your space. Okay, nice pull out, because you know what you're looking for is always at the back. So that helps. We have a 30-inch Whirlpool convection microwave, so this will cook like an oven or cook like a microwave, either one. All right. Now we'll get into some of our lower storage. We've got a little button in here somewhere. There we go. Press that button and countertop galore coming out. Look at the size of those drawers. I mean, they almost seem ridiculous, but then you see somebody that's owned a coach for a year or two and they'll have them full. All right, huge drawer here. These are all full extension ball bearing drawer glides and soft close drawers. So you get the full use of it. Now, being that this coach is an all-electric coach, meaning we have no propane system on this coach, means we need an electric cooktop. Well, that's an induction electric cooktop. It's undermounted, and that'll even come out of there. It just lifts out, and there's a 120-volt plug on it, and you can take it out and cook on it outside. So if you've got some stuff cooking on the grill outside, but you also want to, heat up something else, you don't have to come inside to do it. You can bring your cooktop outside and do it there. And then the back of these, beautiful Corian on one side, cutting board on the other. Anything that serves double duty in the RV world is very nice. All right, we have a deep undermount stainless steel sink. Okay. All right, so we've seen our kitchen storage to here. We've got a fold down scrubby here. Look at that, a spot for the trash can, multiple trash cans. All right, down here, look at this guy. Okay, that's your central vac. Now you can also, it comes with hoses so where you can also hook in right here, and you have enough hose to get to the front or the back of the coach. That's why they put it right here in the middle. But I love with this tile floor that you can actually just broom this right over to here. You don't even have to bend over. That's the nice part about that is, anything I can do without even bending over, beautiful. So, all right, now we're all the way back to this portion of the coach. We're going to move on, but one thing I want to note in here, there's no floor vents, floor registers anywhere in this coach. The floor is beautiful, uninterrupted tile, which I love. They've hidden your heat vents in plain sight. The heat exchangers that go with that hydronic heating system are right here. If you're not familiar with the hydronic heating system, it's actually a very cool system. We did an entirely separate video on that. If you go to our YouTube page or just go to YouTube and Google Mount Comfort RV hydronic heating, kind of did an in-depth video on that. that's gotten a lot of love over the years, and it really explains how that system works. I got tired of explaining it on every video we did of it, and the videos got way too long, so that's why we did it that way. By the way, if you're liking this, if you like the way we do things here, please like our videos and subscribe to our page. We try not to be hard sell or anything like that. We just want to give you the information of what's out there, do a quality review of the coach, and let people make their own decisions. And by all means, if you want to buy one of these, don't forget to ask for me. That's the most important rule. All right, so we have a beautiful Whirlpool residential refrigerator here, LED lighting in here. It's got a nice built-in Newmar lock there, so it doesn't come open on you going down the road. And then ice maker, chest freezer down below. And then look at the size of the pantry, all lit up, 6 drawers. These kind of lock in place on their own. You have to press in, so now it's locked. That. So beautiful pantry, and again, so nice to be able to get to the stuff that's in the back. All right, so now this is a bath. The 4081 floor plan is a bath and a half floor plan. It's kind of existed for years. It got a redesign. It used to be the 4018 floor plan, 4018, but 4018 had a small shower. This has a much nicer shower in it, and they redesigned it a couple years ago to be the 4081. So being a bath and a half floor plan, that means we have to have a bathroom we can get to easily going down the road. That's where we come here. I'm gonna let him get a shot of that with the, let Troy get a shot here with the doors all closed so you can see everything that's in this half bath, and then I'll open it up and show you the storage and some other goodies that are in here. All right, let's open her up. Okay, this one right here, we'll just get a quick shot of this. This is electronics, obviously. We have our 12-volt systems over here, our lighting control box here, circuit breakers here. So nothing very exciting in general, more for serviceability. But there is some serious storage in this coach, and now let me get out. Okay, so take a look at our storage we have here. That's a huge medicine cabinet. And remember, this is your extra bathroom. This is the one you use going down the road. This is the one that your guests use. This isn't your bathroom, but there's still great storage in here, and you can't beat that. All right, moving on. Now, comes time to go nighty-night. We have a nice pocket door here. And that automatically kind of locks in place. You have to press down on this little guy here or in there to make the door work. And then when you open it, there's, you know, you've seen straps, and I've seen, some older coaches used a little foot plunger that was difficult to use and always got jammed up. This is so nice because you just open it and it locks in track on its own, so it'll stay there now. As we come into the bedroom, it's nice and wide because of the full wall slide that we have on the driver's side of this coach. This motorhome doesn't have that choke point right here in the middle. It's very open and very wide. We walk in, tons of space in here, king size bed. As we lift this up, this is a sleep number bed as well. As we lift this up, we have storage underneath. You can see the leaf for the table right there, and we have the chairs right here as well, the folding chairs. This bed is on a slide room. Last year they added a couple extra inches in here. One of the big complaints you get with motorhomes is those mattresses fit really tight in the slide box, and they're impossible to make the bed. Well, Newmar's addressed that. There's actually room here on both sides to be able to do that. You have outlets on both sides of the bed also. I'm just going to open this half of that. The other half looks just like it. But you'll notice you have an outlet, a 120 volt outlet up there, and then you have a little access port there. This is made for a CPAP machine. You can put a CPAP machine up there and bring it down either side. The windows in this coach, first of all, they're all dual pane. Number one. Number two, these little ones on the side here, they do open, which a lot of times in coaches, those are either don't have windows or they don't open. So if you like to enjoy a cross breeze on a nice spring or fall night, great coach for you, great feature there. We do have a little storage. I'll let you get a shot of that storage box. And that is on both sides. And then 2 wardrobes here. Sorry. And then 5 drawers down below. The 5 drawers are going to be like this. Okay. And then you have this drawer. This one's not a drawer. That folds down. Again, this is an electronics compartment. So your DVD player or satellite receiver for the bedroom television would be in there. Now, this coach right now is as loud as it will ever be. We have both air conditioners running, full blast because it's hot out today. We have the generator running, and you don't hear any of it. Newmars are by far the quietest coaches with the HVAC system and with the way they build their walls, the insulation they put in there. You've heard me say it 1,000 times if you watch our videos. Thickest floors, thickest walls, thickest roof, most insulation, insulated floor in the basement, and most studs in the wall. And nobody even argues those facts. I mean, it's just, it's very easy to show people that the box itself is a better built box here, and that's what makes Newmar special. But it also makes it very, very quiet. You don't hear your neighbors don't hear you. It's quieter going down the road, and you don't have your air conditioner roaring at you, which is nice. All right, let's get to what really sells this coach. We told you bath and a half. We've showed you the half, so let's show you the bath. This used to be on a 4018 floor plan. This used to be a tiny little corner shower. It no longer is. This shower is huge. I'll step in there just to kind of show you how huge it is. All right, we have our rain shower head here. We have our handheld, elbows out, plenty of room in here. So that's something people really like. There is a drop-down seat here for ladies, well, anyone that wants to shave their legs. Makes it very nice. You got built-in, this is all Corian by the way, and you have built-in little shampoo caddy space here. This does have the water miser feature on it also. The water miser feature is nice, especially if you're a boondocker. Now, boondocking is when you're not hooked up at a campground, okay? You've only got the water you have with you to work with, and so you want to save that, and also you don't have the ability to dump your tanks, so you don't want to fill them up. Normally, you go to take a shower, of course, just like home, you come in and you turn the water on, and you got to wait for it to get hot. While you're waiting for it to get hot, the water, you're using your fresh water and you're filling your gray tank. So it's kind of a double whammy there. The nice part about this is you can walk into this, turn on this little knob down here. You'll hear water start running, but nothing's coming out. Nothing's going down the drain. What's happening is it's circulating it back to the fresh water tank, but it's activated the water heater, the Oasis system, and it's heating that water on demand. And when that little light changes color, is that light on the wall? Yeah, when that changes color, it's telling you have hot water. At that point, you turn the bottom valve off, turn the main valve on, you instantly have hot water, and you didn't waste any going down the drain. Really a nice feature for boondockers. Now, a lot of people don't do a lot of boondocking, and all of that might be meaningless, but we sell a lot to the racing community here in Indianapolis, and those guys are usually stuck at the track, limited on water, limited on gray tank space. They love that feature. So that's for some people, that's a really awesome feature. We have another wardrobe back here. And then to the left, you're going to see a safe. Perfect place for the valuables. All right. Check this out. Splendid stackable washer and dryer. Okay. And then drawers galore in this bathroom. I mean, they're just everywhere. Okay, and then there's 3 like this here and 3 more here. Okay. More storage there. I mean, you talk about storage in a bathroom. This is crazy. Also good countertop space for all the lotions and potions. And then look at the depth. Sorry, the mirror. Look at the depth of that. And tall items are like big hairspray cans, or get that big Aquanet from the 80s, the big bottle. You can put it in here. There's plenty of room for it. You can plug in your hair dryer, curling iron, rechargeable razor, whatever little goodies you have. We have what you need, and then more storage here for like towels and stuff. I mean, crazy amount of storage. Now, Troy, as you back out, I'm going to have you get a shot of the door here. That is an egress door. So an egress door has been added because it's even better than an egress window. For years, coaches have a window that seemed to gradually be getting smaller over time, that was in case of emergencies, you could climb out. Well, as small as most of them are, you're going to have to go through it head first, and you're probably not going to stick the landing. With this, it's actually a door that only opens from the inside. There's no handle or steps or anything on the outside, so you can only open it from in here. That bottom panel comes off, and there's a telescoping ladder that comes out of there. Again, we have demonstrated this in previous videos. If you want to see the Newmar egress door, just Google Newmar egress door Mount Comfort RV. I promise you there's some great videos out there that really demonstrate this. We go up and down the ladder. I didn't want to do it again in every single video. So that's a little bit about this coach's actual floor plan. Let's tell you some of the things that are new for 2022. Okay, so the first thing they upgraded from 21 to 22 was they did go to the higher end Oasis system. This has the Chinook system in it, which is a dual loop, which just means it's going to give you more hot water. So that's number one thing we upgraded. So the cabinetry here has been raised to a standard height of 18.5 inches on the Dutch Stars this year. This was to accommodate, you know, we're all getting different appliances now than maybe our houses were designed for. Air fryers, you know, coffee makers are no longer little percolating things. Of course, they're Keurigs and they're tall, and they, you know, like ours, they make frappes and everything else. So these appliances are getting taller, and Instapots and all that. So there's more room under here for that. So that's another thing they did for 2022. Okay, so along with our cabinets being taller, look at this window right here. It's taller too. Just that since they had the space, they decided to utilize it. Who doesn't want a bigger window in the kitchen? So that's just a little thing, but it matters. Right here, we have a new switch. Now I'll show you where this is in the coach in just a second, but right there, that new switch for 2022, all lights off. What would we need that for? Well, let's pan out here. Where's that switch located? In the bedroom. When you're laying here in bed, you could just reach right up and hit that. So if you realize, oh man, we got in bed, we left a light on at the front of the coach, you don't even have to get out of bed, just hit the button. How awesome is that? Okay, so a lot of RVers like to take their little pets with them, be it a cat, a small dog, a Great Dane, whatever. This might not work as well with a Great Dane, but one of the options this year, this is not a standard feature, this is optional with the Villa furniture, is the buddy seat. These were popular like back in the 90s and early 2000s, the buddy seat, and then it kind of went away for a while, but it's back. Just a little extra width on this seat. It's like 6 inches wider than the other seat. So if there's a little dog or a Great Dane sitting with you, there's plenty of room here for that. Both these seats, by the way, do spin around. Both of them recline. So once you have established setup camp and all that good stuff, these seats very much become part of the living room furniture. Also, power window is a wonderful feature that's not new for 2022, but it is a very cool feature. When you're going through and paying tolls, those slider windows are terrible. This is a much better setup. All right, let's take a look at what this coach looks like with the slide rooms in. One of the things I think is important to show with an RV is what space you have left when you're going down the road. Now, I grew up in Class A motorhomes, but of course they were non-slide motorhomes. They had the same amount of room whether we were camping, whether we were set up in the campground, or whether we were going down the road. Slide outs changed everything, and we all love the amount of space they can give us when we're there, but you have to have a floor plan that works going down the road as well. You know, there's just certain things you got to be able to get to: the bathroom, the refrigerator, hopefully the bedroom, that type of thing, and that's what we have here. Now, one thing I always encourage people to do, if they option this in with the recliners like we did here, which is my favorite way to do it, that's great, but the recliners are deeper than they are wide, so I think it's important to turn them to the side. It doesn't take a lot of effort. They have a hoop base on them, and once you kind of learn to rotate them, they do it pretty easily. And if you put them back to back here, like I have it, look at the space you have here. I mean, it is you know, like 18 inches wide there. There's plenty of space. You don't have to turn sideways or anything. We could certainly come back here to the kitchen. We could, you know, boil water going down the road. Don't do that. You could certainly get here to the sink, wash your hands, get to the refrigerator. You kind of have to be creative, bounce on one side, bounce on the other, stand behind it to get into the freezer, but you can get to everything going down the road, even the pantry. I could open these up, get to what I want out of the pantry, and most importantly, when you're going down the road, you have to be able to get into the bathroom. Newmar has this door that articulates in the middle instead of hinging on the edge, and the reason they do that is to make it very easy to get in here. So, nice setup on this one. We left all these doors open. All right, and then back here, if somebody wants to take a little nap, you can easily sit on the bed and rotate around, and you still have the whole bed available to you, so you can have a nice rest on that Sleep Number bed. All right, let's take a look at what the outside of this coach has to offer. All right, so on the outside of our 2022 Dutch Star 4081, let's talk about all the features out here. Of course, you have the big Velvac mirrors. These are power and heated mirrors. And they're not the bus style mirrors. I don't like the bus style mirrors. The bus style mirrors look cool when they either hang down from the top or they're both way out here on the front. But from the driver's seat, they really don't work that well. I always try to explain to people, those big bus style mirrors would work perfectly if you sat in the middle. But of course you don't sit in the middle, you sit on the driver's side. So the mirrors kind of need to be staggered. The geometry of that works better if we stagger the mirrors. So one of them is on the front corner here. The other one is kind of around the corner here. So trust me, from the driver's seat, that's a better perspective. Up front, we have an 8 kilowatt diesel generator from Onan. And then we have some other features in here. Well, first of all, this does pull out. So if I pull the ripcord there, even while it's running, look at that. It's a very quiet generator. I'm talking over it here with no issues whatsoever. Our air horns are in here, so they're not up on the roof rusting up. We even have hot water piped in here. That's an option, but it's a wonderful feature because it's so much easier to clean bugs off your windshield with hot water than it is with cold. This entire front end has a clear front mask on it. It's very difficult to see, but that protects you against the bugs and that type of thing. Super heavy duty wiper blades. All right, let's move on. Our entry door, we have the double step. Now right now that's up high, but keep in mind when we level the coach, the airbags on this coach automatically lower the coach about 4 inches, so that would get it down nice and low. We have keyless entry here, so you just program, we'll get your code programmed for you. Even have a doorbell and little things like that. That clear plastic film, it's even here, so a lady with a big ring wouldn't scratch up the coach, which is nice. This coach, everywhere we're covered with this white, we optioned in the stainless steel trim package on this. It's an expensive package, but it just makes the coach look like $1,000,000. Our flagpole holder is here. There's a little insert that drops in there and then holds your flag. We have side cameras and backup cameras, of course, on this coach. You can kind of see the clear film there a little bit. All right, now one other thing we didn't talk about, it triggered my memory when I said side cameras. Well, we also have the 360 camera on here. Now, what that is, there's one of them right here. You have one of those on all 4 sides of the coach, front, back, left, right. And they're wide angle lens cameras, and then the computer stitches them together in the corners. So you've got a screen up there that you can look at it and you can see all the way around your coach. It's very handy in tight spots, tight parking lots, a gas station. How close are you to that yellow pole? Well, you can look at your 360 camera, you can see I've got this much space, I'm good. Or I'm not good, maybe more importantly, but that's a wonderful feature. I forgot to mention it, but this is equipped with it. And we also, speaking of forgetting, we forgot to bring the key out for this. Behind here you have a Samsung television on a swivel arm with a Bose soundbar. Take my word for it. It's in there, didn't bring the key, so moving on. It's hot out, we don't want to go fetch it. We have our pull-out freezer. This pulls all the way out, so even if this slide room were extended, we can still get in here. This can be set to refrigerate or to freeze, whichever one you prefer. So it can keep the beer cold, it can keep the steaks frozen. You tell us what you want, change the setting and you're good. I noticed they added a shelf here this year for 2022. That's nice because that was kind of wasted space above that freezer, so now it's wasted no more. You do have 12 volt and 120 volts in here to plug that freezer into. It'll run off either one. This is a huge pass-through storage here. Now, you can put a tray in there. In fact, we could do it aftermarket if we wanted to. But a lot of people have realized that the trays are good and bad. They're wonderful when what you want is in the middle, but you can't stack anything tall on your trays. You can't go any higher than that frame rail that you see there, or else the tray won't pull in and out anyway. Over to the right there, we actually see our spare tiles. They always take a handful of tiles, 4 or 5 tiles, and put them in the coach. Those came out of the same box of tiles that the rest of the floor is laid with. Therefore, if you ever dropped a skillet and cracked a tile or something like that, it can be replaced and will match perfectly. So great thinking there. One of the things I like to talk about with Newmar, everybody talks about their coach is well insulated, and then they put a floor in the basement that's this thick. Well, you're only as strong as your weakest point when it comes to insulation. The Newmar floor is like this thick and it's full of insulation. It's not some piece of metal or piece of fiberglass that they count on not freezing. That is a well insulated basement. All right, speaking of trays, we did put the half tray here. Which makes a little more sense to us. We have a 1 tray, not all of them, but again, if you want all of it to be trays, we can certainly do that. That can be done after the fact pretty easily. In here, we have a nice pegboard. You can hang some tools and such, or just, you know, it's nice to have a roll of duct tape and a can of WD-40. If you can't fix it with duct tape and WD-40, folks, it can't be fixed. So it is nice to have that and a nice place to keep that stuff. This coach is a tag axle coach. Newmar uses a tag axle on their 40 footers where most other manufacturers don't. And you might say, you know, well, you know, why does Newmar do that? Well, maybe the better question is, why don't the other manufacturers? Because all adding that tag does, okay, it adds a little bit to the price, but what it really does is it adds carrying capacity. You go up 8,000 or 10,000 pounds of carrying capacity by adding that tag axle. So whoever owns this coach never has to think about, am I going to be overweight? Nah, once you've added that tag, you're going to be fine as far as overall carrying capacity on there, and not have to think about, can I fill my water tank? Can I take my extra this, my extra that? Take it, you're good. The Newmar slides are flush mount slides. They recess back into the wall. Instead of having a piece of plastic here that covers it, their paint lines are sanded down and buffed. They're smooth as can be. They don't feel like graphics on there. They just look better. When it's recessed into the wall, it's less of a chance for a leak. It fits better, less chance for wind noise, all good. Now we get back into these two compartments. These are more for a serviceability standpoint. That is our DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. That's part of the emissions that all diesel engines have these days. If you're not familiar with that and you have questions on it, give me a call. I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds on that right now. But one thing I do like about this DEF tank is that it is fillable from either side of the coach. So DEF is becoming more and more popular on the pump, but you know, you would hate to fill your fuel on one side and then have to get out, move the coach so you can fill the DEF on the other. These are on the same side, which makes life a lot easier. These are the chassis batteries. So these came with our Spartan chassis, and that's those are used to start the coach. If you're putting your coach into storage, you can click off these two little breakers right here and know that everything attached to your chassis is indeed off. Coming back around to the back on our Spartan chassis here, we do have a Cummins 450 horse diesel engine. It's an ISL engine. It's 1,250 foot-pounds of torque. So that's going to get you up and down the mountains. That's going to pull up to 15,000 pounds behind this coach as well. So you're not going to have to worry if your coach is going to make it up that hill or how fast it's going to make it up that hill. It'll do it, and it'll do it pretty quick. You also have an air chuck back here. That is for a braking system. There's a lot of braking systems for your tow vehicle out there that use air to activate, and the coach is already ready for that. So we'll close our back hatch here. All right. Our backup camera is molded into the very top up there under that wing, and then our 360 camera is located right here. So moving on. Notice what a good view we have of the engine, and on most diesels you can't really see the engine very well. Well, that's because most diesels are a rear radiator coach. This is a side radiator coach, which you know, a lot of people would argue gives you better cooling. I really don't have trouble cooling either one these days, but certainly it gives you better engine access. If you needed to change a belt, if you needed to get to that engine, it's a lot easier on a side radiator coach than it is on a rear radiator coach. This tag axle that we mentioned before, it's actually a steerable tag. What do we mean steerable? Is there a separate steering wheel for it? No, it's passive steering. So what that means is at low speeds, when you're maneuvering around a parking lot, as the coach starts, if you're turning really hard, usually the tag axle wants to kind of scrub sideways across the asphalt. That's not the case here. These wheels will turn and follow you. How do they do it? Magic. Okay, not really. They're passive steer, which means that they're unlocked during slow speeds. Think of it like a grocery cart. When you're going forwards with the grocery cart and you turn that grocery cart, you know, there's no mechanics turning that wheel. There's no mechanism turning the wheel. They just kind of follow the grocery cart path along. That's what these do. Makes your turning radius a little tighter, scrubs less on the tires. You can kind of get a view there. You can see the leveling jack. There are 4 of those, and they are fully automatic leveling system down below. There we go. This coach does have a hose reel that's power, so you just pull it out, hook it up when you get to the campsite, and then kind of tuck it in this little guy right there so you can shut your door. And it's got the little retract button on it here, and it'll reel itself back in. Last year they went to the stainless panel, which is nice. It looks a lot better, a little cleaner look, a little nicer outside shower. It's metal, not plastic. You do have a whole house water filtration system to keep your water nice and clean on here. And then little things like your knife valves are located inside this compartment. And that's a heated compartment. On a lot of cheaper products, they're going to be exposed outside. Well, you know, you can't call your coach a 4-season coach if your knife valves are on the outside, because if you can't get rid of water, you can't add any more. So those freeze just as easily as fresh water does. This little guy right here, okay, That's for winterizing. How easy is that? You shove that down in a bottle, turn that valve and that valve, and now your water pump isn't sucking water out of the fresh water tank, it's sucking it out of that jug of RV antifreeze. Makes it a snap. You even have a little spot for paper towel holder here. All right. Coming over here, we have a 50-foot shore power cord on a power reel. It does also have a built-in surge protector into the transfer switch. Makes life very easy. You can hook up cable or satellite out here. Now, why would we need to hook up satellite out here if we have satellite on the roof? Well, sometimes if you're under enough trees, the satellite on the roof may not be able to get through. So people will take a portable satellite dish with them, hook it up there, and they can still get their satellite TV. Some people, don't care at all about getting their TV. Some people will die without it. So it just kind of depends on where you're at. This is that new Oasis Chinook system with the dual loop. So it works pretty much the same as the other one, just like I said, going to get you a little more hot water. Then we get into more storage. This is the other half of the storage compartment. Then we get into 8, count them, 8 house batteries. These are 6-volt batteries wired in such a way that they are putting out 12 volts. And they're on a pull-out tray. These are AGM batteries. AGM stands for absorbed glass mat. That means they're not liquid. You don't have to refill them. You don't have to worry about them boiling over. They're a much longer lasting battery, and you'll like those a lot. All right, our last compartment here is kind of left for the chassis manufacturer, whether it's Freightliner or Spartan, either one. This is where they put a lot of their fuses and electronics in here. So could you store a little something down in the bottom? Yes, nothing with liquid in it. But you could store a little something down here for sure. And then you have spare fuses and everything to get here, but mostly this would be for serviceability. All right, so let's go around to the other side. I made some adjustments here off camera because I really want to show, we try to do a detailed review of these RVs, and we're getting so few of them right now because they're in such high demand that I don't want to miss anything. So this is what a Girard Nova awning looks like. It's 2 awnings. First of all, it's not bolted to the side of the coach like a lot of awnings where you have that arm that goes up there. No, it's molded into that top cap up there, and then it comes out without arms to hit your head on, to run into. You have an LED light strip that goes all the way down the bottom of both of them. They do have motion detectors in them, and if you look above the door, you even have a little awning there, just to cover you if it's raining a little while you're coming out here. You could easily step down the steps and never get exposed to the sprinkles. So we do have window awning here. These are manual. You can get them power. I honestly like the manual ones a little better. You just grab that little tab, hook it right here on this cleat. It takes 5 seconds per window awning to open up. So that's pretty easy. But while I was walking around the coach, it got me thinking something I never talk about, and I want to talk about it. Look at where this, and I am an RVer, I have an RV, but mine doesn't have this feature, so I can tell you I would appreciate this. Notice where the water's dripping on this coach right now. It's coming from underneath the coach. It's not running down the side of the coach. Well, the reason that's important, especially on a full body paint coach like this, if you get this bad boy shined up and looking great, you don't want water running down the side of it, spotting it all up. And the type of roof this is, one-piece fiberglass, by the way, but it is those awnings molded into the side. They kind of make a little tray up there where the air conditioners and everything sit. So the awnings stick up about the same height as the air conditioners, and then there's that little tray area where if it's raining, or in this case condensation from the air conditioner, instead of that just running over the edge down the side of our coach, Newmar put little drains in, and they run down the corners of this cap here. So there's a drain up in the roof in the front and the back, and then there's little hoses that run down. We can't see them in here. Oh, actually you can. Get a shot in there. They're the blue hoses. All right, so those blue hoses you see in there, those are what are draining water from our roof down and running it out underneath our coach instead of down the side of it where it's going to spot it all up, and it'll do that out the front or the back, basically based on which way gravity is going to let the water run. So that's it. That's our 2022 Dutch Star 4081 review. We hope you enjoy it. If you did, like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, don't tell anybody, and we'll just keep it between us. If I can help you in any way, if I can sell you a coach, if I can answer questions, anything we can do to help you out, please let us know. My name is Chris Anderson. I'm with Mount Comfort RV, and thanks for watching.